Hello, my lovely Willow Vibes tribe members. I am Jessica from Willow Vines Intuitive Vibes, and I'm here to do a collective message and kind of a share, mainly a share and a message. I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. I feel so lost without you. So someone really doesn't know what the hell they're doing right now, I'm just going to say. Sometimes I feel that way. And not just because I'm picking up on other people. I mean, I do feel that when I pick up on other people, but we all get lost, you know? We get lost somewhere down the line. It happens to the best of us. It really does. And that's where lessons come in. So don't beat yourself up if you feel confused, if you feel lost, if there's a little confusion in life or whatever. You know what I mean? It happens to the best of us. The main energy that we have is positive, uplifting new friends. So some of you could be making new friends, or it's just positive energy, like see the positive side of a situation. So the reason why I sat down here was because in the reading I did earlier, it hasn't uploaded yet, but it will before this because it's almost done. So I had said that there was something on my mind, and I was like, maybe I'll do a story time about it or something. And in that message, that was just basically prompting me to say that somebody has something on their mind that they want to talk about. But I do want to talk about this, and that wasn't what that message was about, because that's why I didn't mention exactly what it was, because what I was thinking of during that reading had nothing to do with the reading. And it is, when it comes to explaining things, when spirit gives us signs, synchronicities, messages, especially if you're a light worker, if you're a tarot reader, if you're a psychic, medium, whatever, it's all about symbolism, and sometimes it's hard to decipher. It really can be hard to decipher. Like I work more and more each day with my spirit team with signs and symbolism, so that I know, like, if I see a certain thing, that's what it means, versus for me personally, you know what I mean? Because if I have no intention of reading for my life, sometimes certain things surrounding me and in my life come out in readings, but normally it's an example. And I think that's why I talk about movies and shows a lot, because it shows you, like, okay, there's a symbolism in this versus what, you know, like, not versus what's going on, but it's to show what's going on. So it's not about the show. Like if I'm talking about a show or a movie, it's not about that. It's about the symbolism of it. So if there's certain things that are going on in my world and I'm explaining it publicly, most of the time, 99% of the time, it's an example. It's to show that either I can relate to some people, or it's just to show, like, okay, well, this is the example for me that spirit is showing me, and this is how it's coming out. I don't always word things right, I'm just saying, but the right people get the right information when they need to, so it's fine, and I know that there's no problems with that. And that's why I explain a lot of personal things, because I know a lot of people go through similar things. But if you're on a spiritual journey, that's how messages come through sometimes. And it doesn't mean that it's a past person. Like, okay, say you see a specific person from your past and you're being reminded of a moment, and you're reading for other people. It's not necessarily about them. It's a similar situation, so it helps you explain it, if that's the case for you. If you don't do any of that, and you're just on your own journey, you're not helping other people, it's just to help yourself, what do you need to learn from what's coming up? Because like retrogrades and stuff, a lot of people are like, oh, this retrograde energy is just fucking bullshit, because people come back and want to talk, or memories resurface. They come back for a reason. It's like, have you learned this lesson? What is this lesson to you? Because if it's coming back up, it's something that hasn't been fully sorted through, is what I want to say. And it could be happening with a completely different person or in a different situation. So it's like, okay, with the retrograde energy, if you're like, I don't know, if something from the past comes up, for example, it's an ex, just for example, because it could be anything. It could be friends, family, children, whatever. If it's an ex situation and you're like, does that mean that person's going to come back and talk to me? Is this going to happen again? Don't think like that. It's what happened between you and that person. Why is that specific memory coming up? That person. What is it about that person that you might need to reflect on, that you might need to learn from, so that if someone similar shows up, even if it's not that person, you're going to go, okay, I've been here before. I'm not doing the same shit again. You know what I mean? Like, that's what that's all about. It's to help us learn from the past and heal the past and move forward so that we don't make the same mistakes again. And that's where that whole, like, don't tear down the monuments, don't forget history, don't forget the fucking past, because it will repeat itself. It will repeat itself regardless if we remember or not. But if we remember, then we'll go, okay, history says this has happened before. So what are we going to do differently so that we can change the outcome? Because it's making me think of Outlander too, because that's kind of what they try to do in the show, because the future people are like, oh, we know what's coming, like, we're going to try to prevent certain things. You can't prevent something from happening. It's like with time traveling. No matter what show, what fucking movie you watch, anytime there's a time traveler, they say, do not fuck with the past. Don't take anything from the past. Don't change anything. Because if you change something, even one little minor thing, it will change the course of history. You know, everything will change. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. And it is the truth, if you really think about it. So, for example, anything from the past, it doesn't matter what it is. We'd be talking about slavery, wars, anything that we have gone through as a whole or just individually. Learn from it when you're faced with it again, because it will come back with different people, different faces, different places. No matter what it is, it will repeat. It will, it's like a loop. It's an endless loop. So it's like, do we want to stay on this endless fucking merry-go-round, the hamster wheel? Do we want to stay on the hamster wheel? Most people will say no, because in your own life. But we think of it on a very minute scale. I did not sit down to talk about this, because I was going to do a little share. But anyways, we think about it from an individual standpoint, from our own lives. So it's like we think about our exes, our past, whatever the hell we went through, just ourselves. We don't think about the nation, the world. We don't think about what has already happened and what could happen, and it's going to happen again. Like, people keep talking about World War III. And because we've been through World War I, World War II, World War II, whatever. And, oh, that's the WW. World War. Shit. That's crap. Because I saw that earlier. But anyway, maybe it was just prompted me to say something. I don't know. But, yeah, a lot of people, not a lot, well, certain groups, because there's segregated groups of people who think this way, that way, whatever. And there are problems approaching, especially in the U.S., you know, like, we're not protected from all the crap that happens. Like, look at what happened in the Ukraine between them and Russia and whatever, and it's a spiral effect. It's not just about other countries, because yes, problems could happen over here. It's like, oh, that's not my problem, I don't live there. That's their problem, you know? That's those people's problem. But it does become your problem, not because of the media either. It becomes your problem because eventually it travels and it will end up where you are. It doesn't matter where you are. We will all be part of this big fucking problem. Because if we, I'm not going to say if, when, I know I sound like I'm like a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but when World War III happens, when shit hits the fan again, it gets worse and worse over time. Like, it's going to be devastating. Because what's going to happen is, Okay, say you live in the United States. We'll just use that as an example. Oh, I'm safe and cozy and warm, whatever, you know? And then something really fucking bad happens in another country, and then it happens to another country. The artillery that we have, the technological warfare, chemical warfare, whatever the fuck you want to, whatever the hell people are going to use, happens over there, it will affect us. Because we'll either be brought into it, or, like the US will be brought into it, or, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. But regardless, it will affect us. It will affect everyone in some way. Because you got to look at the trade system. Where do we get our goods from? You know, like, things come from overseas. Like, you know, a lot of other countries get shit from the US and we get shit from other people, and it's just like, oh, we don't have this, you have that, and it's like a barter system going back and forth. Well, if it gets blown up, that doesn't happen anymore. If shit goes south, whether it's from a natural disaster or not, oh crap, we don't have this. Where are we going to get this produce from, this product, this whatever? You know what I mean? Like, everything that happens somewhere else affects everyone else in some sort of way, whether it's a little bit or a big bit, like a lot bit. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, especially in today's generation with our younger generations and stuff, they don't realize, they don't see, because they don't want to see, because they're so caught up with their fucking phones and social media and stupid crap. But that's what government wants. I'm just going to say, that's what the elites, the people who are quote unquote above us, that's what they want. They want us to just go, oh, Joe Schmo liked me. Oh, this is fucking stupid. Oh, ha ha ha, this is hilarious. Like, that's what these people want. And they want us to forget. They want us to forget our rights. They want us to forget the reality of a situation. Like, don't look at the real situation. Look at this fake crap. There was an orb that just went through. You know, it's like, look over here, diversion. That's what the media does. That's what the government does, and it's fucking ridiculous. It really is. Do not forget where you came from. Do not forget how we got to where we are. Don't let your freedoms fall to the wayside because you scrolling through your phone. It's going to be nothing when the shit hits the fan. It's not going to fucking matter anymore, you know? I mean, okay, on a small scale. This is very, very minor, and I don't know the details of it, so don't hold me to every fucking detail. But I wanted to have a salad, okay? And I live in Maine. So I wanted to have a salad, and there's no romaine lettuce. There's iceberg lettuce, but not very much. Like, there's not much to choose from, and there's an issue going on in California right now because they have like woods fires, forest fires, whatever, and crops are being fucking destroyed. So it's, you know, that seems like, I don't live in California, so who cares? Well, it does affect other states, other places, because that's where we get our fucking lettuce from, apparently, which I wasn't aware of. But, you know, so there's a lot of things that I'm not aware of, that you're not aware of, that we're not aware of, that affect us in small ways, but those little things add up to big things. Do you know what I mean? Pay attention to the details and don't forget the past. So for example, when I'm talking about war and stuff, the Revolutionary War, for example, I'm not even talking about Civil War or anything like that, because war sucks. Yes, war is bloody, war is awful, it is horrible that we do that to one another, because we should care about each other, we should all get along. But world order, my ass, with the way that people think, that's very futuristic, is all I have to say, because I just don't see a coming together. I just don't. And just look at history. We have never really come together because of slavery and all that shit. You know, it's like, black people will go, you know, they want retribution for the past. Like, my ancestors were slaves. That is fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. It never should have happened. But there were white slaves too. You know, immigrants, fucking Irish people. It doesn't matter what your lineage was. There were slaves that came from all around because that's what people did back then. They would sell other people. They did it to women too. Okay? You know, women were sold. Women were property. Women were useless. We were all useless pieces of shit. And that's where feminism came from. And it's on the extreme end now. And it's anti-men. And that is not what feminism should be. I'm sorry, but a true feminist, I guess you could say, if you are pro-women, women's rights, you should be fighting for equality, not superiority. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that what happened in the past is correct, because it isn't. But we need to learn from that and not retaliate. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, my ancestors were slaves, no matter what your color your skin is. My ancestors were slaves, so I will never be that. Great. Don't ever be that. Don't ever allow that to happen to yourself. But that in today's age, it's not like it was. There's laws in place, like things are very different. And when it comes to women and women's rights and having a voice and being able to do what I do right now, because if we go back to the 1700s or whatever, I could never do this. Even if technology was this way then, it would be unheard of, because you basically, your husband rules you, it's your father that rules your ass first. He sells you like property, and then your husband rules your ass, and you do whatever the man says, you know? And that's how it was. That's not how it should be. I don't think that's okay, and 90% of men don't think it's okay. And even back in that time, there were men that still didn't think it was okay. It was just the way it was. And nobody took a stand. You know, it always takes someone to take a stand in order to make a change. Do you know what I mean? Because then certain people follow suit and whatever. But it's not just about making changes. There are people who are on the extreme end of things, you know, to the point where with feminism right now, which I find ridiculous, and I'm a fucking female, don't emasculate men. And that's what's happening. A lot of men feel like they can't take care of a woman. They can't help a woman. They can't open a fucking door. They can't be kind. They can't be a gentleman. Because women don't want that anymore. Because fuck you, men. Like, that's the extreme end of things. And because of that, a lot of guys are not respectful like they should be, because they think we don't want that. So it's like these fucking extremists ruin shit for everybody else. And I'm not saying that's the only reason that happens, but it's a big reason, you know? It's fucking ridiculous is what it is. You know, I just fight for your own fucking rights. If you truly believe in something, that is amazing. It is. You know, and fight for what you believe in. But history has a funny way of repeating itself. And we don't want to forget what has already happened. You know what I mean? Because the shit will hit the fan. It's going to hit it anyways. But we don't want it to be worse than it could have been. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, my cat's in here. Do you want to see Mother? Do you want to meet Mother? Hold on. Come here. Come here, Mother. She's my little chubby bunnies. Well, say hi. Look. Mother, look. Say hi. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. She don't care. I don't really hold her much, but, you know, it is what it is. She's a good chubbo. We love her, even though she's mean. She's been hanging out in my room lately. I don't know why. Because for a while, she didn't want anything to do with my room. And now she just, like, she hangs out with me. But anyways, I don't know. I guess we just need to learn from history. Like, our collective history, not just our own. Because I'm telling you, what I was getting at with technology is, you know, wars, they get worse. She's so loving. They get worse over time because of technology. You know, Roman Empire, you know, medieval time shit. You you had fucking knives and swords and whatever, and it was like hand-to-hand combat. And then, you know, the gun was invented, and then that changed everything. And then we had cannons, and now we have nuclear shit, you know, chemical warfare. We have shit that didn't exist back then. So can you imagine a World War III or IV? Like, we're gonna wipe our own asses out because of our ignorance. Like, that's just the way I feel about it. I'm just saying. And a lot of people don't realize it. They really don't. No, they don't, Mother, do they? They really don't. People are stupid. Yes, they are. Ignorance is bliss until it fucking bombs you in the fucking face. Ow. Why are you doing that? You can give kisses. Don't bite me. Like, what the fuck? I should just bit my chin. Some fucking hairs everywhere. I'm gonna be sneezing like a crazy person. But anyways. Alright, woman. I'm gonna let you down. Okay. Here. Probably, yep. I was gonna say I'm probably covered in cat hair, but literally, you see this shit? Whatever, I'll get the little rolly thing later. Do you need to go out? Is that your deal? No, you just want to hang out? Okay. Hi. She doesn't want to leave, she just wants to hang out. Yeah. 21 minutes. I haven't even said what I wanted to say, but I don't even know where that came from. I really don't. Because I was going to sit down and talk about what had happened over the weekend. And it was just absolutely ridiculous. But you know what's weird is with that crazy energy when I got sent to the fucking loony bin and stuff, I was wearing the same clothes my daughter was wearing when all this shit took place this weekend. And it makes me wonder if part of it was like a premonition type thing, because they almost sent her to the hospital because of how she was acting. She was just over the fucking top. And I rewatched a video I did on April 24th of this year, and I said the exact conversation I just had today with her and her boyfriend about relationships. I just had that same conversation, and that came up, and I was like, holy crap, I just said this. Like, okay, so that's part of that. And I know that I pick up on them sometimes, but she was so pissed off about him going to hang out with his friends. This is where that clingy energy can come in. And I'm not, shitting on her. I'm just saying a lot of people have relationships like this, and it's damaging as shit. It really is. Because you have to have your time, their time, and together time. And if you can't separate yourself from the person you're with, there's a problem. There's a big problem, or there will be one. It will become a problem because we all need our space. You know what I mean? So anyways, he wanted to hang out with his friends, and the way that she was talking to him, that poor kid, he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, I felt so bad. He's like, I don't want to make her mad, but I want to do this, and like, he was torn, and it broke my heart, because I'm just watching him and listening to him, and I'm just like, stop worrying so much. Go have fun, is what I said. I was like, go do your thing. I'll handle her, is what I said. But it shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? And she's my daughter, and I'm not talking shit about her. I'm just saying, we all have things we need to work on. And that was a mess, to the point where she almost left work early because she has a job now. And she didn't. Well, when she got home, she lost her fucking shit. Like, he even made her bed. He cleaned her room. He left love notes all over her room. Like, and she lost her shit. She fucking lost it. Like, I mean, she went mental. And I didn't call the cops. Her father didn't call the cops. She didn't call the cops. And all of a sudden, the cops show up. And I opened the garage door, and because the dogs were in the house and stuff, and I was just like, can I help you? Like, what's going on? And they're like, we got a call, and is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. I don't know why you're here. And then they mentioned her name, and I was like, oh, I don't know who. And I told him, I said, I don't know who called you, unless she called. I have no clue. I was like, but yeah, she's flipping out upstairs in her room. And I told him exactly what happened. I told him that her boyfriend left and she had a fucking meltdown. And I thought that the second they talked to her, because they're like, can we talk to her? I was like, yeah, of course. So I was like, move the dogs into the garage and then let them in the house kind of thing. Oh my fucking God. Yeah, there wasn't much talking. There was a lot of screaming. Because I was trying to reason with her and explain, and she's like, I'm just going to run away. I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to do this. And I was like, you go ahead and do it, honey, but I'm going to pick your ass up. And the cops told her, and I'm thankful that they did, because they're like, you leave this house in this state, we will pick you up. So you better not leave, basically. Oh my God, how she flips out on me. I thought I was the only person she flipped out on like that, besides her boyfriend and her father. Oh no, she laid into the cops too. Oh, she did. And then one of them laid into her. Told her how ungrateful she was and everything. It didn't fucking do a damn bit of good, but I just sat there and I was like, yep, okay, you see this? You see what's happening here? This happens a lot. It's not just today, you know? Whenever she doesn't get her way, that's what happens. And yeah, she was over the top, like bad. Like it was extreme. And one of them, I was talking to one of the officers, which is actually the asshole cop I talked about before. And when I had a one-on-one with him, without him being all high and mighty, he just has that kind of persona, I guess you could say, because he was level-headed with me this time. And I was like, if you guys think she needs to go somewhere, take her. Like, basically, because I just was like, I don't know what to do here. I really didn't. She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't reason with me. I'm a horrible parent. I'm a shitty mother. I'm fucking awful and all kinds of crap. And, because I sent her boyfriend away. Because when he left with his friends, found out she was freaking the fuck out to the point that she was before the cops came, he showed back up. And I said, you need to go, honey. It is not a good time. Like, go have fun with your friends. Just go. And he left, and that made me the bitch big time. But, you know, it was for the best, because he didn't need to be here witnessing that, for one. And I wasn't going to give her what she wanted, because that girl will literally lose her fucking mind until she gets what she wants. And that's why I'm such a bitch. That's why I'm so fucking evil, is because I do not give her what she wants when she wants it. I give it to her when she deserves it. And that's just how it is. And I'm done with that bullshit. Like, that was such an eye-opening moment, because I wasn't the only one to see it, like, to witness it. And I had people go, yeah, you're not wrong, you know? And it sucks. It's hard, because she's my baby. But, you know, some people are just that way. And she is one of them, unfortunately. And she's not going to hold my life back anymore. She's got me fired from a job before. She has literally held me back. And I was okay with that. Not really. I was never really okay with it. It was more like, I'll accept this because I gave life to you. You're my responsibility. You're my child. I will make these sacrifices. And I have. But I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not sacrificing myself for that anymore. She's right. She is 16. She's almost 17. I don't have to make those sacrifices anymore. I know she's not an adult, and I will still be here and be supportive. But I'm not going to let that shit, that bullshit, hold me back anymore. She's going to have to learn the hard way if she chooses so. Because I've tried and tried and tried to make sure she doesn't. But I can't control what my children do. I can't. It sucks. It's hard because there are children. You know, it's like, you're my baby. I want the best for you. But if you can't see it, and you're going to do this, this, and this, and you're going to make my life hell because you don't want to do what you think you should be doing or whatever, you're just going to do whatever, then do whatever. Don't come crying to me when the shit hits the fan for you. You know? And I'm not saying I won't be there, because if there's a problem with my kids, I don't give a fuck how far away they are, where they are, what they're doing. I will always support my kids, but I'm not going to allow it to fuck up my life anymore. Because it has for a long time. Like, I had a really good job. Yeah, it was stressful, and everything does happen for a reason, and I'm not resentful over it, but I was making good money. I was making more money than my kid's father was making. And that got fucked up because I was the one that got called. I was the one that had to leave work. It was always mom. It was never dad. And mom's not doing that anymore. And I know I sound evil, but that's life. That's what old people say. Just saying. After sadness, happiness, and hope returns. But yeah, that was my weekend. My Mother's Day wasn't that bad, but we did get into a fight today, of course, because that's just the way it is. I guess that's how it is with teenagers anyways, but even the officer told me, he goes, yeah, this is above normal teenage angst, you know, and it is. It is. It really is. And I know I'm strong for dealing with it and trying. I tried before, I continue to try, and I will always do the best I can when it pertains to the people I love and care about. But like I've said before, you can only help those who want to be helped. Doesn't matter how old they are. Doesn't matter who they are. And it's hard. It's hard. And I don't want World War III in my house. I'm just saying. Like, you know, I don't want it to happen nationwide and whatever, or worldwide, but that's just coming too. I don't even know where that came from. So that's a warning for the masses, just to pay attention. You know, don't forget. Don't forget. Because shit always comes back around. It always does. And this has nothing to do with race or religion or anything like that. Some people can use that as a guise. That's probably where that evil dude was in my meditation, like with the cross. Pretending to be the martyr, but you're really the traitor kind of energy, like the devil's wearing a cross. And I'm not saying that people who believe in Jesus and stuff are the devil. No. That's not what I mean at all. I just want to say that because some people might think that way. But no, there are some people that will preach the word of God or act as though they are holier than thou, that they're on the righteous path. But that some of them are sheeps and wolf, like in a wolf's clothing, basically. What is it? A wolf in sheep's clothing. There we go. I said that backwards. And it's kind of scary. But that's why I constantly say, listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. Because it doesn't matter if I sit here and wear this cross, or if somebody else does. Or if they wear whatever pendant they wear that has to do with their higher power. You know, if they're preaching something, or if they're like, oh, I mean this and that. That doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't. That's probably why this necklace unhooked off my neck. It didn't break. It just unhooked. And I was like, what does that mean? And I feel like that's what this is. Someone's unhinged, I'm just going to say. But it's like, the symbol doesn't matter. It's from within, you know? Don't look at what someone shows you. Trust yourself. Read between the lines. Yes, the devil's in the details, but it's like, find a way to look beneath the surface of a situation or a person. Because then you'll find the truth. Because I could literally be here going, fuck you, blah, 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 like being nasty, and I could be wearing this. And people would be like, oh, she's holy. Like, do you know what I mean? So everything I said and did and all that crap doesn't matter because I have a cross around my neck? Like, no, that's not how that works. But people do that. And it's just a way to explain that it's not always what you see. What you see is not always what you get. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I have for you. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully it makes sense. I don't really know why the fuck I did this in the first place. Like this specific message. Because it needed to be said. Yeah. And I can elaborate on a lot of things. Like, you know, my intuitive gifts go beyond love relationships, I'm just saying, which is probably why I don't focus on love relationships in my readings. They do come up, but it's day-to-day things. It's the things that matter. I talk about what matters to all of us. And I'm pretty sure putting food in your belly, having a roof over your head, feeling safe and secure, those are all things that matter to you. Those are things I cannot change, but those are things that I can let you know about so you can be aware of, like, okay, even if there isn't a problem right this second, there could be. So what can we do to make sure it doesn't fucking happen? That's my point, I guess. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon.